Hi, my name is Megan Bell, and I'm the librarian for the School of Health Professions. So think of me as your personal librarian as you progress through your PT program here at UAB. And in this video, I'm going to give you a general overview of the library resources and services I think you're most likely to use during your time here. In this video, I'm going to go over some library services, give you an overview of the website, and an overview of the physical space at the library. Whenever we can meet either in person or online, and I can meet with you either one-on-one or as a group. Feel free to email me or you can call the library, and here are the hours that I'm usually available. So due to the COVID, there's a kind of fluid policy about things, so just check UAB United or the library website for updated policies as far as our hours and what's allowed in the building and things like that, because things are constantly changing. So we have a lot of different services, but I'm going to highlight just the top three I think you all are most likely to use, especially within your first year here at UAB. So we are definitely here to help you with searches. You all are going to do something called evidence-based practice. You have a whole class on evidence-based practice, and I'm going to talk to you more in that class about how to find PT articles, but you are welcome to contact the library via chat or email me or call for us to help you find articles relevant to physical therapy. Also, I've noticed that PT students tend to use the study space here at the library, so we're definitely available for that. And we also have laptops, so in case your laptop crashes or something happens, you can check out a laptop from the library so you can get your assignments done. You definitely want to always start on the library's homepage so you can take advantage of all of the articles and journals that UAB has already paid for. So even if you use PubMed or Google Scholar, it's still a good idea to start on the library's homepage. And if you're off campus, you'll be prompted to use your Blazer ID and password. We have a chat with the librarian service. So if you just go to our library's homepage, there's a slide out that will come from the right, and you just can type in your question and someone will answer you as quickly as possible. Here are the chat hours that were available. If it's outside of chat hours, you can still submit your question and we will respond to you on the next business day. You can also click on this link here and it will also, you can set up a one-on-one consultation with a librarian. So if I'm not available to help you, another librarian can help you. So I encourage you to use our PT guide. It has a list of the textbooks, or your PT textbooks that are available through the library. Those are all linked on this particular guide. And also it gives you some information on other PT databases that we have, as well as how to find the full text of articles. When you're on our homepage, we have conveniently put the top databases that students on the health sciences side of campus tend to use, and so they're located in the middle of the screen, and you can click any of those tabs and it'll take you to that database. When you need to get the full text of articles as a student at UAB, you need to, if you're in Google Scholar, look for a full text at UAB link in Google Scholar, and you do have to change your settings in Google Scholar in order to see that. So click this link. Click that link to get instructions on how to see that particular, to see how to change your settings in Google Scholar. If you're in any other database, such as PubMed, you want to look for this green full text at UAB button. So when you want to get full text as a student, here's more information on how to change your settings in Google Scholar so you can see that full text link. Now, another reason you want to always start from the library's homepage is even if you don't have immediate access to the articles, we can still get the article for you. We will request it from another university. This is a free service for you. And so when you click on that green full text at UAB button, if we don't have it, it'll take you to this screen. And then you look to the bottom of that screen and you click the link that says request article from UAB Libraries. And then it'll take you to this screen. You log in with your Blazer ID and password, you put in the article's information, and you should have the article within 24 to 48 business hours. But often it'll be a lot less than that, but that's the most amount of time you can expect for it to take. You can also use the Interlibrary loan service. If there's a book or dissertation that you need, you can get in print. You can request use the Interlibrary loan service for that as well, and that will take maybe 1 to 2 weeks. Now, as I mentioned, evidence-based practice, EBP, you all are going to go into more detail into that with your definitely this summer. But here are some information on how do you access the full text of these kind of articles. Now, we get these questions from students as well as alumni. So I'm giving you information for both here. When you're a student, you'll be able to access some EBP, some resources that are available to you, or CINAHL, as well as the Cochrane Library of Systematic Reviews. So that's available to you while you're a student at UAB. After you graduate, you can still access PubMed. However, you may or may not be able to access the full text. There's something called PubMed Central that you would be able to get the full text of those articles. But it just kind of depends. You can also, again, use Google Scholar, but there are going to be some articles that you're not going to be able to have access to once you are no longer at UAB. There's also called, if you want to get some clinical guidelines, there's something called ERCI guidelines, and those are free. There's Pedro. You're going to learn more about this later, but Pedro is a database where you can you'll be able to get a summary of the article or what the article tells you, but you won't be able to get the full text. Through Pedro. Trip, you can also have access to some articles that are free. There's PT Now. That particular database is only available to American Physical Therapy Association members. And then there's also the Public Library of Science. And so anything on the Public Library of Science, those articles are freely available. I also want to mention that when you're in PT practice, that some of these articles, once you find the article, you can also try to request the article through your public library. So getting the full text after graduation. So I mentioned this before. You can try PubMed Central, Google Scholar, Trip, and Interlibrary alone through your local public library. So on UAB's campus, so you have access to the UAB Libraries consist of the Lister Hill Library of the Health Sciences. This building is located across the street from the School of Health Professions. And on the other side of campus, there's something called the Stern Library, and they have information on arts, humanities, business, psychology, things like that. You have access to both of those buildings with your one card, and that's about it. All things circulation. So if there's ever a print book you want to check out, or the laptops I mentioned to you earlier, or we have 3D printed things. We have different things that you may want to check out, okay? So you can use our curbside service, and if you just click on this link, that it gives you more information on how to submit a request to get have an item, use our curbside service, or you can go into our catalog, request. You have to log in, and you can request a particular book and have that book. You can pick the book up at the front desk, so that's also an option. So now I'm going to give you a little information about our physical space. So this is the physical space of the Lister Hill Library. This is the first floor. So on the first floor, you need your one card to get into the building. So that one card you use that one card here, and you may use it here. Certain times of the day, this is going to be already open, but after 5 o'clock, you would need your one card to get in the building here. Here, you will always need your one card to get into the building. And so you come into this space here. Here's our virtual reality studio. Feel free to check that out. We have a 3D printing area here. This is all study areas. There's a scanner here, so if there's ever something, like maybe you have notes you want to get from a colleague, or you have a book that maybe you can't check it out for a long period of time, you want to scan something from it, there's a scanner here, and that's free. You can always email it to yourself or put it on a thumb drive or something. This is our desk, the circulation desk, so if you ever need to check out a laptop, this is where you would go check it out. Here are some study rooms that I mentioned earlier, so if you ever want to have some group study time, here's where you would go, and they're also up here too, and a few right here. We have public computers that are available, so if you need to print something out, they have Microsoft Word. They have, if you're taking a statistics class, they have a statistics program on there, so that's available as well. We have a museum that's here, so you can feel free to check that out too. Here's the second floor. So if you ever want a quiet place to study, then that is here, along here. And that's the quiet area. And here are our stacks. So this is where the books are. You want to check out any books. And also, if you ever meet with me or another librarian one-on-one, our offices are located on the second floor. So this is where you would meet with us. The last thing I want to mention to you is the Writing Center. So if you ever have any papers that you need to do, I do suggest, I recommend the Writing Center. They can help you. You can meet with them one-on-one and they can go over your papers with you. Or if you just want to have someone review your paper and give you feedback on it, you can submit your paper and someone will follow up with you with feedback on your paper. So that's another option for you. The library does not control this, although the physical space is located in the Stern Library, but they do have virtual sessions as well. But I just want to make sure you all are aware of that particular resource. Finally, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to contact me, and here's my contact information.